climb up and
They,
do their push-ups.
I'm just really in awe that they actually are there to see us when we think we're looking at the seals, and they're actually kind of hanging out,
absolutely.
looking at us, saying, "Oh, look at that one! Look
Yeah.
at the guy with the black socks and the brown."
You can imagine, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's
and
what
the
they're doing.
sandals.
That'd be great. It'd be a great reality seal show. But okay, so why seals? What drew you to this to volunteer?
Well, actually, when I started, I mean, as a person living in the Bay Area, we were always so sort of aware of the Marine Mammal Center, seeing stickers on cars and stuff, and I never really sort of was aware of it, but never knew or never had been there. And so one morning I was actually walking on the beach up in Bodega Bay and came across something on the beach, and at the time I didn't know what it was at all, I must admit.
You didn't know it was a seal or anything?
Well, I thought it was a seal,
Yeah.
of course. You say that's a seal, and it was a sea lion,
Okay,
of course.
with the flaps.
Now I know, exactly. But I definitely knew that something was wrong. I mean, it was not a place that animal should be, even though I didn't know. You just know that something's off. So I called the Marine Mammal Center, and they dispatched a team, and I observed the whole thing happening. And I thought, well, I'm spending time up here on the weekends. I can, volunteer and see if they need help. So I went and got the training, which is a really great thing about the center. It's like whatever you want to do, however involved you want to be with the animals, they'll provide you with the necessary training, and you can work on an animal crew or work in rescue and training like I do.
So is the training very long?
It's usually like a couple hours of class, and then you'll go out and sort of work with an experienced person, especially in the field.
And how old do you have to be to volunteer?
I think, well, they have programs for youth volunteers in the summer.
Oh, that would be
and
great.
I think it's 15, yeah. And then probably to actually be on an animal crew, I would suspect it's 18. But you can do docent education kind of stuff. And one of my friend's daughters is actually doing that now, and she's 15. So I think unless you're 18, they won't let you actually in the animal pens, but you can actually be quite involved in several other ways.
So I was very shocked at the way that I don't know what they were treating, but you go down there and you can actually see all of this, which is really wonderful. They have tours. I think you're open 10 to 5.
Yes, that's
Monday
correct.
through Saturday.
7 days a week.
Oh,
actually.
7 days a week.
Yeah, every day of the year except Christmas and New Year's, I think, and Thanksgiving. So and it's free.
And they have tours that go on 1 p.m. and 3 p.m.?
That's correct.
Okay, and you can actually really see what's going on there while you're taking the tour and watch all the volunteers and the animals being repaired.
Yeah, repaired. Yeah, or sitting around and eating.
And it's they have these things in there like a paddle, almost like a shield out of wood. Can you explain what that's for?
Yeah, you've done your homework. Those are actually herding boards. And we'll use those in the pens to protect ourselves, first of all, and to also sort of create a barrier between our, humans and the animal. So, again, to avoid as much contact, if you will. But for the big sea lions, it's a safety thing also. So if one person is going in to give an injection or to, feed an animal, then potentially 2 other people will go and what we call board the animals or board the other animals so that they're away from the person who's giving the injection, because they are fast, and once again they're wild, and they're not, they don't want to be in the hospital.
Yeah, no, I
rehab.
don't think it's a nice place, but
yeah. We think it's great, but they don't want to be there, and so and they're stressed, and so that's basically protection, and also to keep that barrier between so they don't imprint.
And again, that's herding a group
board,
rather
exactly.
than hurting.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
But I've seen how strong these are. They're amazingly strong animals, so they could do some damage.
Yeah, they definitely can do some damage, and they will throw you off. I was actually, when we do restrains to take an animal down, as we say, for a procedure or something, we usually give them an IM injection first, which is a muscular injection to relax them. And this animal was probably a 70-kilo animal, so 100, 30 pounds. And she started to get loopy from the medicine, and then we put a net on her, and I was actually going to sit on her, and she actually sat up and was able to, pretty much toss me off, except there were 2 other people behind, grabbing the flippers as we do to bring them down. But once they are incredibly strong.
Yeah, and they must be in a really frantic position because you don't know
Exactly.
who are
They're
these
freaking
people and
out,
where
yeah.
they're taking me, and then they put you in a cage. And
Yeah.
the cages are nice. They have like little swimming pools in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cages. They're very nice little condos.
Yeah, I know.
And but that still freaks them out. And
Yeah.
and when you go there, you hear the barking.
Mm-hmm.
And now, being there for a while, can you tell what the barking means? Kind of like a newborn when they're crying, you know, if they're a stress bark or if it's bored. Or...
I don't know. You know, I think that that's more of our projection of course, when it sound like they're crying, and the harbor seals make this sound that sounds like they're calling their mom. They go, ma, ma. So it's...
like, oh my God, he can talk.
Exactly. And I'm your mama. So, but actually, you know, vocalizing for the younger animals is good. You know, we like to hear them vocalizing because it means they're active and alert.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's definitely a difference between stressful vocalizing, like for those animals, and then some of the big sea lions, as you know, and again, I'll refer to the animals at Pier 39, they just bark because they can, and they make noise, and who knows, you know, if they're communicating with each other or, you know.
You never know what they're up to.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty good. So there are other things that you're involved in there, not just things that are happening to the seal, such as getting caught in nets or being shot. I still can't believe the shot thing. That's incredible. But also there's something with domoic acid. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Basically, it's a naturally occurring algae bloom in the bay. And it's sort of a red tide is what they refer to it as. So some of these blooms produce this toxic domoic acid, and the animals get exposed to it, and it causes brain damage basically, and it will cause them to have seizures, and chronically will actually make the hippocampus in their brain shrink. So
now, what part of that, the hippocampus, what does that control?
Oh, I think it's neurological function. They'll have seizures basically, and I don't want to, you know, I can't really tell you exactly what it is, but basically the cause that we see is it's seizures, and they get disoriented, and those animals will turn up in crazy places, parking lots, or, you know, again on the streets. So they also discovered that this affects their heart. So in the past, they've medicated animals, actually stop the seizures, get them quiet, and it's a water-soluble thing, so they can wash it out if it's what they call an acute intoxication. So they've discovered that it also affects their heart, is the animals were coming out of the medicine, the treatment, and looking better, and then all of a sudden dropping dead. So someone did a study, and actually by the necropsy, which is the post-mortem examinations, discovered that it affects their heart as well. So now we're doing EKGs, just like you do in humans, where you see all the wires and, you know, the squiggles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, to see if in fact they're having these arrhythmias. It's what we call abnormal, the electrical activity of the heart.
So you're doing
Conduction.
EKGs on seals. Now, is this the first place that's done anything like that?
Yes, it
Really?
absolutely is, yeah. And no one knows. I mean, these are diving mammals, so of course they have incredible hearts. You know, they can stay underwater for an hour, and their hearts are the same as ours, basically. They're not fish. So how do they do that? So yeah, it's the first time anybody's, investigated their hearts. And so we're doing EKGs, and we're also doing ultrasound examinations, which is echocardiography, which is what I do in my real life. And it's actually become sort of a parallel career for me to do this, which is really exciting.
So sonograms, like when you're pregnant and you see the form of the baby in the sonogram, what does that help in the seal? What are you looking for?
Well, we actually directly look at their heart.
Okay.
So in addition to the conduction system of the heart, which is their wiring, basically the electrical activity, just as you look at babies with ultrasound, we can actually look at the heart. So you can see the valves moving and the chambers pumping, and basically what they're seeing is maybe this thing that makes the heart muscle weak, or we'll see what it shows us, but it's amazing.
And if you just give one more pitch for anything that you want to tell someone who may be thinking, maybe I should volunteer, what's the benefit to you? What do you get out of it?
Well, you get this amazing opportunity to work with these animals that you never see anywhere else, and more animals there of these type marine mammals than anywhere in the world, actually. So it's really a unique opportunity.
And does it feel good to watch them go away when they are released?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's usually typically the best part, is when we've seen them for months and months and months come through all their diseases or whatever, and then we open up the carriers. Basically, they're just like dog carriers that we put them in, and they just run out to the beach.
Tells a tale of grace, that's all.